he can somehow or other browbeat or twist the arm or, you know, trick his unqualified disciple into doing a little seva, then that sukriti that the disciple gains from doing a little seva helps to strengthen his level of shraddha in the future birth. And then in the future birth, he and because he did do some devotional service, his birth will be more than likely a more elevated, say, sattvic birth instead of a tamasic or rajasic birth. So then it'll be easier for him to pursue, the pure devotional principles in the next lifetime because of a more elevated birth, higher birth. But, it doesn't mean that you can't go back home, back to Godhead, from whatever birth. Hanuman was a monkey. There's so many examples. Agrarya the hunter, became a pure devotee by the grace of Narad and Muni.
Yeah, I heard a story about a butcher or something.
Yeah, so many ministers.
On the topic of Nam, I've been wondering, like, exactly why do we use Ram's name in Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama, Rama Hare? Why? Well, I mean, I understand that Ram is an incarnation of Krishna, but why don't we say, Srideva's name in the Maha Mantra or anyone else? Why Ram?
Why Ram?
Specifically, why?
Well, specifically because Ram is the name of Krishna, meaning the reservoir of pleasure. So Adhika Raman.
So it's a more reference to Krishna and not actually...
Yeah, or Balaram, depending on which rasa you prefer. But Radhika Raman Rama, that Rama, who gives pleasure to Radharani because he's the reservoir of pleasure, that Hare Krishna Mahamantra is totally Madhuryamai. But if you take Rama to mean Raghupati Ram, then it is mixed Madhurya and Maryada. Maryada means it is Aishwarya. Under rules and regulations. Whereas, in our, Prabhupada took Rama to mean Balaram.
That's what he said.
Yeah. But our acharyas, Vishwanath Chakrabarti and others, take Rama to mean Radhika Raman. Rama. Radhika Raman, that Rama, who's the reservoir of pleasure for Srimati Radharani. So when we chant Hare Krishna, if you chant meaning Raghupati Ram, then one name of Rama, Raghupati Ram, is equal to 1,000 names of Vishnu. One name of Krishna is equal to 3 names of Rama. So, if you but if you take Rama to mean Radhika Raman, Rama, then there's no difference between the potency, because the full potency, the highest principle of Krishna is not just to be attractive to the gopis, but to engage in service to the gopis. When Krishna becomes conquered by the gopis, then he attains his sweetest and highest position. So that Rama, who becomes the, sold out puppy dog in the hands of Srimati Radharani, and that Rama, Radhika Raman, he is like the highest, even higher than Krishna. Wow. Because Krishna is all attractive. He's attracting all living entities, including Srimati Radharani, but Krishna doesn't necessarily indicate that he is sold out to Radharani, controlled by Radharani. Whereas Rama, Radhika Raman does.
Or what do you think of Ram's name as Balaram?
Balaram and Krishna are identical. They're on the same Braja platform, at least. One is servant to a Godhead, but then Hare couldn't be Radharani if Rama means Balaram. Then like Hare would mean Radharani, and then Krishna, Radharani, Krishna, 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 Radharani. Radhe, Krishna, Radhe, Krishna, 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 Radhe, Radhe. And then Balaram, it would mean like, yeah, either Revati Ram, or that's in Dwarka Lila, or what's your name? Ramba? Is one of his park here, his gopis in Vrindavan, and there's Faruni, and then there's Purnananda, and maybe Rambavati, something like that. I forget. Purnananda is his most famous Mopi and Funam. So it would be, Hare would refer to his consort, not to Krishna's consort. Or Hare can refer to like Yasoda, Krishna, Yasoda, Krishna, 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 Yasoda. Then Rohini Lam, nobody or Nanda Krishna, Nanda Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Nanda Nanda. Hare refers to the energy of the Lord. But energy of the Lord can have multi-aspected, expanding features.
So it's like however you want to see it.
Guru Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Guru Ram, Nam.
Whichever connects with you the most, kind of.
Yeah, but that you have to suss out deeply in your own heart.
Yeah. Can't say I'm there yet.
No, get there. It's good for you. But even the most intimate cowherd boys, they like to see Rama as Krishna. Like Subal's group and Madhumangala, Arjuna, Kinkini, these are Priyanarma Sakas, who are young cowherd boys who assist in making the arrangements for Radha and Krishna to mate. So they like to see Radha and Krishna together. Their Ishtadevata is also Radha and Krishna. Although they have more affection for Krishna than for Radha, but still they focus on Radha Krishna.
Right.
Prabhupada recommended that mood if someone was attracted to the Sakuras, especially Subal.
Subal's great. He's really funny. Madhumangala's also fun. Subal's he's good. It describes that Subal is practically on the level of Madhurya once. Even though I'm using a cowherd. Vahi. He is a male Saki. Because he acts as a go-between.
Yeah.
And then Ujjvala also. He relishes, Radha and Krishna's union. Subal can even go into the intimate Nikunja, in a bower house when Radha and Krishna are together on the bed. He's so intimate with Krishna. Krishna doesn't feel in any way embarrassed in his presence. Just like Radharani doesn't feel embarrassed in the presence, even Radharani doesn't feel embarrassed in the presence of Subal. Another male. But he's only 12 and a half years old. Radharani is 40 plus, and Krishna is 50 plus.
Lolita 26? Lolita 26?
No, don't be ridiculous.
What?
Where do you get that
Oh,
stupid ideas? She's 14.
It's a nice...
She's-
No.
No, that's wrong.
It's wrong.
That's a mistake.
I also think it's 10 years.
No, it's a mistake. She's 26 days older.
Only.
26 days older than Shrimati Radharani.
What Krishna is?
Radharani.
Oh.
Lalita Devi. Lalita Devi is 26 days older than Radharani. Shaka's the very same age. Born at the same time.
What about Yashoda? How old she is?
Who?
Yashoda.
In Palma Lila?
No, I know the spiritual...
In the spiritual world, I'm not
Well,
sure.
somebody told me she's older.
No, that was in Boma Lila. In Boma Lila, there's different things happen than in Golok. In Boma Lila, there was a whole thing where Nanda and Yashoda were in anxiety because they didn't have a son. And then, they gave birth to a son, and the son, took birth from the womb. That doesn't happen in Golok.
Uh-huh.
So many things are different about the Gokul Lila than the Golok Lila. But don't think of Ramami Raghupati, Lord Ramchandra. That's not.
That's what I was thinking.
But that's not our line. That's not our sampradayas way of seeing it. That's why it's important to have conception.
Well, like we even have there's a picture in our temple. It's like a picture of combination of Ramachandra, Lord Ramachandra, Krishna.
Yeah, that's Sadbhuj. That's Lord Chaitanya proving to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya that he is that same personality of Godhead, who was previously Rama,
Krishna.
who was previously Krishna. I am now. So he's manifesting. So Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was seeing that form.
And some other times he showed different.
Sometimes he showed,
Krishna.
8-arm form
Really?
to this Brahmin who was traveling, around India and happened to come to Navadvipa.
Sometimes he's shown his Narasimha.
He was,
Shiva.
as a little boy, he was stealing. When the Brahmin was finished cooking his offering, and he would put it on the plate, and then he would go into meditation, calling for his deity to come and eat, and then Lord Chaitanya would sneak in and right before the Brahmin, and the Brahmin, he was stand. Brahmin's meditation broke, and here's Lord Chaitanya, eating the rice, and the Brahmin's becoming totally disturbed, and then Jagannath Mishra, Lord Chaitanya's father, he starts chasing Lord Chaitanya with a stick to beat him for misbehaving like that, and then the Brahmin begs Jagannath Mishra that what will be accomplished by beating this boy. If you punish someone who knows the difference between right and wrong, then that this boy is so young, how do you expect him to know the difference between right and wrong? And then convince them to cook again. So then they brought Lord Chaitanya into another room, into another house, and all the ladies are saying, "Is that the way to act? Is that to steal a Brahmin's food? Like that." And Lord Chaitanya says, "Well, he called me, so what fault is there of mine? He called me. He, And of course, nobody could understand his words because Yogamaya was covering them, and they couldn't understand that he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And then, suddenly, with Lord Chaitanya tricks everybody and disappears from their midst. When the Brahmin was making his offering again, after cooking a second time, the Brahmin was making offering again. And Lord Chaitanya, little Nimai goes in and again munches down the offering. And then Jagannath Mishra becomes so furious. By that time it was like 1 o'clock in the morning. Almost 2. And then he was really determined to beat him. And then the Brahmin saved Nimai again by grabbing Jagannath Mishra's hands. And then Vishwarup, Lord Chaitanya's older brother, Vishwarup, comes on the scene and entreats the Brahmin to cook for a third time. And then they assured him that it wouldn't be a problem this time, because he was saying that someone suggested that they should lock the door from outside the door of his room. Put him in his room and lock it from outside so that he can't escape and disturb the Brahmins' offerings. But then the ladies inside, no, it's okay. You don't have to worry. He's fast asleep. Then when the Brahmin started making his offering again, Nimai's, by his illusory potency, made everyone else fall asleep. And then he got up and snuck out and went and stood before the Brahmin again. It's like the Brahmin was, "What? Oh no," here the third time. And then Nimai decided to reveal himself to the Brahmin. The Brahmin was totally distressed that, how can you do this? I'm making the offering to Gopal, and you're coming and disturbing my offering. He was really distressed. And then Lord Chaitanya says that this is not the first lifetime that I've eaten your offerings. You're my eternal servant. And then he revealed to him and ate on two hands. He was carrying a bow and arrow like Lord Ramachandra. Then the second hand he was carrying the Kamandalo, and second pair of hands was Kamandalo and the water pot. A water pot in Danda. Again, and then the third hand he was carrying butter for eating and rice. I forget something else. The other hand, and then in the fourth set of hands he was holding a sewer. So in that 8-arm form, there's extra thing was butter and.
What's the significance of that?
Well, Paul, just about a thief. You know, so he was stealing the ramen food.
Yeah.
You know, so
It's appropriate, I guess.
yeah. And then when the Brahmins saw him like that, and then Lord Chaitanya manifests the whole of Vrindavan Dham, and Brahman saw around him gopis and cowherd boys and cows, and everything was like what he saw in his meditation. And then Lord Chaitanya told him to Nimai, told him that you know, don't reveal any of this to anyone as long as my pastimes, and you can stay here and witness, you know, the pastimes, but you can't reveal to anyone what you see. You know, otherwise you'll forfeit your body. He told him that in previous lifetime you were traveling just as you are in this lifetime, and you by good fortune came to the house of Nanda Maharaj, and we had similar, you know, exchanges then. He told him that he's his eternal servant, birth after birth. Like that. Many different times, virtue for me. Other times to the Vijay, was it Digvijay, this world conquering pundit called Digvijay, and he came to Navadip. You know, he told to Nimai that, have you heard Chaitanya Bhagavat or read Chaitanya Bhagavat? You gotta read these books. These are great books. I love these books. How can you not read them? How can you not know all these nice things? You know, if you knew all these nice things, and you would be so happy that you were born in a devotee family. Right now, you know, you're too busy thinking about money and stuff. Now, if you really knew what thing you were born into the association of, you would be so happy, because it's incomparable. Krishna consciousness.
Well, they say that at some point you're supposed to take care of your parents because they take care of you growing up, and at some point you take care of them.
That's ordinary course of affairs.
So,
But
I could live by myself probably without any money, and be happy, like you said. But don't I have a duty?
you have a higher duty.
Or isn't there?
Lord Nityananda left his parents when he was very young. And Lord Chaitanya left his widowed mother.
Well, what happened to them?
They became overwhelmed with the grief of separation and feelings of love of God. But he showed by practical example. Lord Chaitanya told to Gopalbhakta Goswami to as long as his parents are alive, to stay and take care of them. But you can't say that Lord Nityananda's father and mother weren't devotees. You can't say that Lord Chaitanya's mother was not a devotee, but Lord Chaitanya showed by example that the higher duty to save the fallen conditioned souls, to preach Krishna consciousness, one, you know, is no longer a debtor to the demigods or to the parents or to forefathers or to anyone. One surrenders to Krishna. There's so many examples. The devotees that their parents to. Yeah, if you feel obliged to, take care of your father and mother, but, honestly speaking, no one can really take care of anyone else. Only Krishna is capable of taking care of anyone. Krishna, because you're bound by your karma. You may work hard like an ass and still not make enough money to take care of the mother. And if Krishna wants, he can fully arrange for your mother's care without you. It's not, what if you die tomorrow and he's going to take care of your mother? So these are kind of illusory conceptions. This ahankara vimudatma karta hamiti manite. Ahankara, meaning that I am the doer. Aham koro, koro means do. Aham means I do. Aham koro. So it's called ahankara. It's a shortened Sanskrit version of aham, I, koro, do. I am the doer. And Krishna says that he's not only mudha for things like that, but vimudha, very ass-like. Thinking that he's the doer, that he's the provider, that he's the protector, that he's the, the whole idea of trying to become a husband in this material world. And actually, Krishna's the only husband who can provide